I welcome Dr. Nitin Jain to lead this session again. So I welcome, sir. You are you here, sir?
Yes, Suyash, I'm here. You can hear me, right?
Okay. Right. I welcome you again, and we will start this session without any further delay. So I invite the
So,
session coordinator to introduce the resource person of this session.
Good afternoon to everyone. Today is the last day of our AICT ATAL FDP on design thinking for next generation. I am delighted to welcome you all to this online session again. I believe this platform gives us a wonderful opportunity to learn, interact and grow together. Our second session will be delivered by Mr. Nitin Jain sir. Nitin Jain sir is a serial entrepreneur and the co-founder of the Assert AI, an AI computer vision company transforming industries like manufacturing, logistics, and energy through real time video analytics that enhance safety, efficiency, and productivity. An IIT Bombay alumnus, Nitin sir also hold an executive program in business management from IIM Calcutta and a CPIM certification in supply chain management from Apex. He completed a summer internship at the University of Twente, Netherlands, where he worked on a thin film technologies. Before funding Assert AI, Nitin sir led Oyo Room's Western AI operation, founded the EdTech startup, and built research and analytics center at Parking Elmers. His entrepreneurial ventures have been featured by NDTV, ET Now, and Your Story. Are recipient of multiple recognitions, including Star Performer of the Year 2011 and 2012 at Parking Elmers and Star Performers in Project Management 2011 at Net Subscribers. Nitin sir continues to drive an innovation and mentor startup with a deep passion for technology, strategy, and ecosystem building. Now, Nitin sir will deliver the lecture.
thank you for the kind words and a warm good afternoon to everybody. First of all, thank you for joining this call. I know it's a weekend, it's Saturday, so and especially after the lunch, it's not that easy to come together for a session. But I'll try my best to make it interesting for you guys, right? And so I'll give a brief introduction first. My name is Nitin Jain. I'm an alumnus of IIT Bombay, passed out in 2004, and I have built several businesses in the past. I was part of this venture called Infolytics, where we were trying to deploy a lot of information research and market analytics solutions way back in 2006, right? Very early on in the market. Uh, I also built Oyo Room's entire Western India operations, starting from scratch, built a team of more than 200 for Oyo, uh, tied up with more than 100 properties for them, and kind of established the entire Western India operations for them, right? In my current startup, I'm kind of building various markets, including Middle East, North America, USA, and also Asia. So these are some of the key markets where we are operating. Right. Now, coming to this particular session, right? I kind of thought through what could be an interesting one for you guys, right? And then I stumbled upon an idea. I thought maybe people are talking about AI a lot these days, and it has literally become a buzzword, right? I mean, everyone is talking about AI can do this, AI can replace jobs, AI can, replace human beings. There is a lot of buzz around, and some people are calling it a bubble. Like people say that within next 1 to 2 years, you will see a lot of companies collapsing. AI is just a bubble around that. So I thought, why not kind of spend time and talk about some of the AI deployments within the industries, right? And how some of the companies are really using AI to leverage efficiencies, drive productivity within the organizations, right? And that probably will give you an idea how at least some part of AI is being deployed. Because see, ultimately every industry is struggling with finding the right use cases, right? And right use cases for AI is not that easy. So that's where the entire struggle lies, right? I mean, people are trying to figure out what are some of the right use cases that they want to implement. So with that quick introduction, I will share my screen And what I'm going to do is very, very briefly, I'm going to introduce the company to you, my organization. And I will then at least talk about few sectors where this technology is actually changing the way these guys operate, right? And you will get to see at least some hands-on use cases which are being deployed, right? So my company name is Assert AI, and Assert AI is purely into the vertical of computer vision. Now, some of you may be familiar with the computer vision as a technology, but for the broader audience, let me just quickly introduce the tech here. So, computer vision is a technology where you build the capability to analyze the video feeds or images, right? For example, when you talk to a Siri, that's a voice AI. You can talk to Siri like an intelligent human being. You can have an intelligent conversation with Siri. It will analyze your voice. It will analyze various words, context, phrases, and then it will come back to you with an intelligent human being answer, right? Similarly, when you interact with ChatGPT today, that's more of a text conversation. You are interacting like there is an intelligent person sitting on the other side of the screen, right? And he is answering various questions that you have like a intelligent human being would do. So our tech is primarily on the images and videos, right? So there are images and videos being generated every second that we are talking about through CCTV cameras, through normal video reels, through normal, mobile phone cameras, right? Drone cameras. So there are videos being generated every second as we speak, right? What do you do with those videos, right? And that's where this entire technology of computer vision comes into picture, where we have built the capability to process these feeds in real time, and then it can give you real time insights, real time information on multiple scenarios. So that's broadly the technology is all about, where you have the capability to run video feeds in real time and process those feeds and derive certain meaningful information. So my large part of my lecture today will focus on some of the specific use cases within the industries, how companies are leveraging computer vision AI as a technology and solving some of the pertinent problems that they have at hand. All right. So briefly about my organization, we are a 8-year-old company. We started our journey from India, but today we are present in Asia, Middle East, and North America. We have clients across multiple regions. Team of about 100 people as we speak today. We are probably one of the largest on-premise deployment company that you would come across, where what we have really cracked is the capability to run this AI on an on-premise device, and that brings the entire efficiency into the entire system, right? Very proud to say we are homegrown in India, but catering to even very large multinational companies in USA, Middle East, and so on. Just a brief, the clientele that we have, you can see a lot of large logos here, within the clientele that we have today. These are some of the locations where we are present. Outside of India, we are primarily in Dubai, Saudi Arabia. We are in Chicago. All right. We also raised our series of funding in last year in 2024, and we are kind of deploying those funds to grow into multiple regions, as I was talking about. This is the founding team. We all of us come with a very strong background of IIT Bombay. I am Lucknow. So Job Philip and myself, we both started this organization 8 years back. Shalab joined us about 3 years back in America. He heads the entire North America business. He's based out of Chicago. Super. Now, with this brief introduction, and before I proceed further, let it be an interactive session. Please feel free to interrupt in case you want me to deep dive into a specific section, in case you want to ask any pertinent questions, either related to technology or my journey or a search journey, feel free to ask. And I'm very happy to answer, and I'm very happy to kind of interact with the audience here today. All right. So I've actually chosen three main sectors, which I thought could be useful to give you a flavor of how this technology is currently being deployed, right? So uh, those three verticals are: one, your QSR, the quick service restaurants or retail in general. How is a retail client or a restaurant client or a quick service restaurant currently deploying some of these technologies, and how they are benefiting out of it? So that is one sector I want to touch upon today. Second sector I want to touch upon is primarily around your manufacturing. And within manufacturing also, I would like to focus a lot on the safety side, because a lot of these solutions are currently being deployed on the safety of the premises. And third, I would touch upon the healthcare, right? So on some of the healthcare clients we have, how they are currently using this solution, and in what shape and form is it adding value to their and to their current business, right? So these are three verticals I will talk about. I can go across multiple sectors, but I thought for the benefit of time and audience which is here, at least I will let me give you a flavor of how this technology is being deployed and how people are deriving benefit out of it. Does that make sense? And any questions so far from anybody before I proceed further? Okay, so I take it as a no. I will then move further. And the first sector that I would like to touch upon is your retail. And when we talk about retail, there is an entire section of warehousing as a backend, right? Because none of the retail store can operate without a backbone of warehousing at the backend, right? So, how computer vision AI is helping some of the warehousing operations and some of the retail operations that we have, right? So, without getting too much into technical detail, this is broadly the entire inferencing engine, right? So as an input, you have the feeds coming from the CCTV cameras, and this entire dark blue box that you see is basically the AI engine. Now, the AI engine processes the feeds in real time, right? Once those feeds are being processed, there is an AI pipeline that runs on those feeds. The AI pipeline defines what you want to analyze out of that. The edge analytics then create those meaningful insights and push it on the dashboard, right? Now, dashboard is a reporting platform which you can access and again see different type of analysis which are coming out of the platform. All right. Now, I will skip that part. I will, directly jump into the retail store. Now, when we talk about a retail store, right? I mean, there was a study which was conducted that said that many of the shoppers they leave the store empty-handed because of three main reasons. One is the inventory issue. Inventory issue, as in the right product was not available on the shelf, right? Or the shelf was stock out. That kind of puts people down, and they kind of then don't shop further, right? Second is retail touch points. Now, what does it mean? It means that many a times you want an assisted buying, but just because somebody was not available in the store to assist you, again the shoppers leave empty handed. And the third is queue mismanagement. Now, most of us have witnessed this, that if we go to a shopping mall or if we go to a retail store and if we see a long queue, and if it's not a critical buy, right? If you feel that this can be purchased later, many a times all of us have done that. We leave the product there and we say, okay, let me come back later, or maybe I'll go to some other store later on, right? Because you don't want to spend another half an hour standing in the queue, right? So these are some of the key problems that if you talk to any retail chain, they are today grappling with these issues, right? Now, how does this technology solve the technology that we have, how does it solve for these issues? Now, broadly, if you visit any retail store, you would see CCTV cameras already placed. Like there is a camera which is already pointing towards the entry of the gate. There are cameras, within the store which are pointing towards different aisles. And there are cameras again which are pointing within, let's say, the kiosk, right? Which you have. When I say kiosk, it's basically the checkout counters, right? And as I'm talking to you, maybe just to give you a more flavor to it, what I can also do is I can maybe pull out some relevant videos, and those videos can also help you, look at it in proper detail, like what we exactly do. Okay. So now, uh, when it comes to the retail store, at the entry there is a camera which will keep on looking at number of people who are coming to your store. So what it would give you, it would give you not only footfall inside, it will also tell you, for example, uh, the movement pattern of the customer, like how many customers are coming at what time. Is it like we have some specific peak time on a weekday and there is a specific peak time on a weekend? Now, once you know this information for a period of 3 months, 6 months, you can start predicting. You can say on this particular Sunday, because this Sunday falls with a particular week, long weekend, how many people I'm expecting in my store. And based upon that, you can do your manpower planning properly, right? It can, for example, look at the store-wise footfall. When you go to a mall, right? It can also tell you which sections or which aisles are more occupied and which aisles are less occupied, right? So this is one of the benefit that you get from this technology. Now, when it comes to Hello. Did I drop off for some time? I think my network went off.
Now you are audible,
Hello.
sir. Between you were not able. Now you are
Am I
audible.
audible now, Pratima?
Yes, sir, you are audible now.
Okay. 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 So sorry. I think the network is little patchy. Uh, but before that, you could hear everything, right? You did not miss the part which I was talking about.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, Satish. Thank you for confirming. So I will move on then. So I was actually talking about, once you know, for example, where exactly your customers are moving, which sections are they spending most of their time, you can also figure out some of the marketing campaigns effectiveness. You can plan certain marketing strategies accordingly. Like a lot of our clients, within Saudi Arabia, they use this data to find out, whether my marketing campaign was effective or not. Like if I do a particular car display in a specific area, did it attract enough number of people to justify the investment that I've made? So a lot of these data goes into understanding the effectiveness of your campaign, right? It does a lot of staff monitoring because once you train it on the uniform, right? Uh, I think this is the right time I can pull out maybe a couple of relevant videos. Just give me a second, and I would like to show you at least couple of videos which will give you an idea. I think this should be here. Yeah. So for example, if I open this one, right? So you can see what AI is tracking here. It is primarily looking at two, three things. One is it has divided this particular section into zone. This is zone one, this is zone two. And now it is checking how many people have entered into a particular zone. Not only that, it is also counting how many people not just entered, but how much time have they spent in this particular section. So, for example, this particular customer has already spent 26 seconds, right? So it gives you an idea of what is your customer stickiness, like how much time are they spending in a particular product section. So what is the product engagement? Now, in some of the sections, it's very important to understand the engagement, like something like an electronic store, right? Unless you understand, is it dropped again? Sorry, I'm just hearing some weird sound. It's not stopped, right? Okay. 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 Yeah. So in some of the sections like electronic store, uh, you know, unless there is somebody who can assist the customer will never buy. For example, you will never do a purchase of a TV unless you understand the features of the TV and another brands and models which are there. That's where it's very important to understand whether your employee is spending enough time with the customer or not. So we once you train it on the uniform, right? So for example, the system is able to identify this is a staff. It can also look at whether the staff is available when the customer is moving in a specific section. And for example, if the staff is not present when the customer is moving in very specific section,
Yeah,
it can raise an alarm. It can send an alarm to somebody,
yeah.
right? So this is one way how this data is being deployed by the retail organization.
अच्छा
Uh,
अच्छा सर वो तो है ही नहीं ना।
Sorry. Okay. The second important part is the POS optimization. Now, once you go to point of sale, right, the checkout counter, it's very important to understand what is the queue length, what is the wait time, what is the service time, if the employee is absent from the location, right? If the employee has packed the right number of items to the order or not, right? There's a lot of pilferage that happens usually at that point. So again, the AI is capable to look at all these analysis in real time and give you if there is a long queue length piling up. Uh, for example, अरे यार नेटवर्क जा रहा है लाली. Okay, I hope it's audible now. Okay, so for example, this video that I'm showing you, it is actually looking at various checkout counters, and it is looking at the queue length, and wherever the queue length is more, it can capture it as an alert and send it to the store manager. Like for example, this counter is open. Why can't this be opened if there is a long queue piling up? So many of the companies are today using this data to identify if there is another counter that can be opened before people start dropping out. Like as I was telling you, one of the challenge in the retail is dropout of customer after they have done the, card. Their card is made, but before the billing, because they see a long queue length, they will drop off from the queue. Now, this is the solution that really helps them to understand if there is a long queue piling up, and can I open another counter so that my customers don't drop out and my, my kind of the revenue increases overall, right? So this is how some of the retail clients are using it. I will quickly touch upon one more part here, which is primarily the quick service restaurants, right? And quick service restaurants have a different challenge that they want to solve, right? So broadly, what happens when you go to a McDonald's and you go to a drive-through? Broadly, they don't have an idea about which all customers have come. Like what you usually get out of that is number of cars which have come and what order did I serve to those cars. But do you know whether that's a repeat customer or not, or what percentage of customers are repeat customers? You actually don't know your brand loyalty because you're not capturing that data today. But with computer vision, there is a lot of data that gets captured here. And for example, let me quickly take you to this one. So this is Yeah. So this is basically in a typical, quick service restaurant drive-through. It looks at the number of cars which are coming. It looks at if any car is dropping off because of a long queue. It also looks at the average time spent by a particular car here, and it also reads the number plate. By reading the number plate, it can tell you exactly if that's a repeat customer, right? And once you have this data, you can also increase your brand loyalty. For example, the next time you come to the store, the person can say, "Hello, sir. You know, you are a regular customer to our store. Can I offer you a free drink?" Right? I mean, imagine the brand loyalty that it can build if you have these kind of solutions running in your store. And this is purely coming through vision analytics, right? Through vision AI. There is nothing else that you need. The existing CCTV cameras can pull out this information because the recordings are happening in real time all the time, right? So some of the smart chains today are using this solution to also identify the repeat customer, identify if there are certain dropouts from the queue, identifying the peak time analysis, identifying, what is the efficiency of my barista, etc. Right? It looks at all that stuff. They also look at, for example, kitchen compliances. If somebody is not wearing a face mask, or somebody is not wearing a hairnet or a glove or an apron, which again may lead to a food safety issues. It also looks at some of these things in real time and generates an alarm in case somebody is not following the protocol. Let me see if I have a video to show you the PPE detection. It's a very interesting use case, which a lot of kitchens today are taking. And like you can see this video, right? It's looking at if people are wearing gloves, or are they in uniform, are they wearing this headgear or not, right? And immediately it can raise an alarm in case somebody is not following this particular protocol. So within retail and QSR, this is how some of the clients are using this solution. I'm going to take a pause here and see if anybody has a question before I move on to the next vertical. Okay. If there are no questions, let me move to then the next section, which I want to touch upon, and that is on the safety side. Okay, so let me pull out the safety deck. Just give me a moment. Okay. Now, a lot of organizations today are focused on workplace safety, right? And uh, since many of you have worked in corporates, you would know that there is a HSE vertical which every organization has today, and that is more prominent, especially in the manufacturing vertical, right? Where the health and safety and environment vertical make sure that the environment is conducive for workers, the health and safety of workers are being taken care of. They come up with a lot of rules and regulations on how the company should operate when it comes to the health and safety of workers, starting with what kind of PPEs you should wear, what kind of protocol should be in place, what are the SOPs you have to follow, what are some of the restrictions in terms of speed, etc., that they place within the organization. So the HSE vertical basically takes care of the entire health and safety of employees. Now, this is a safety pyramid, right? So what does safety pyramid says? Safety pyramid says that for one fatal accident to happen, right? And this is the fatal accident which you do want to avoid, right? There are, you know, 30 serious injuries before that fatal accident happens. For those 30 serious injuries, there are 300 minor injuries that happen before those 30 serious injuries happen. There are 30,000 near misses. Near misses when there is a narrow escape from the incident. For every 30,000 near misses, you get 300 minor injury. And for every 30 for every 30,000 near misses, you have 300,000 unsafe acts.
So
Now,
slides are
think
not
of it.
visible.
Sorry,
Slides are not visible, sir.
slides are not visible. Okay, sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me share it again. Maybe because network went off, it stopped sharing. Thank you for highlighting. Yeah, is it showing now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it is
Thank you
showing
for
now.
highlighting. Yeah. So this is the pyramid I was talking about. I'll just repeat it again. It says that for one fatality, which is the major accident or death, right, because of safety, for that one incident, you have 30 serious injuries that happen before that one incident happens. For every 30 serious injuries, there are 300 minor injuries, like small wounds, cuts, scratches that happens for every 30 serious injuries to happen. For every 300 minor injuries, there are 30,000 near misses. Near misses are basically your very, narrow escape from the incidents, right? And for every 30,000 near misses, you have 300,000 unsafe acts. Now think about it. The entire investment today that every company makes into safety is basically to avoid that one death or one occurrence of that death by accident, right?
अरे इतने करोगे नहीं ज्वाइन है इतने दिन करा है
Can everybody put on mute, please? Yeah. So for that one death to avoid, they make all the investment into the safety. Now just think of it. To avoid that one death, what you really need to take care of is those 300,000 unsafe acts. If there is a way to monitor those 300,000 unsafe acts, and if there is a way to change that behavior, right, you actually reduce your probability to have that particular incident for which you invest so much money into the safety. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Now, entire safety solution today on the computer vision side is actually built on this philosophy. How do you reduce the likelihood of that one particular incident? Or how do you change the behavior on the ground so that people start, you know, taking it seriously and people start monitoring the unsafe behavior so that one incident can be reduced, right? So without getting too much into the slide, let me show you maybe some videos which you will find very interesting. And, uh, for example, today there are safety solutions which can take care of the PPE behavior. Now PPEs are put into the companies for a reason because they help employees to work safely in an environment. So there are today solutions that help companies to look at the PPEs. For example, somebody not wearing a PPE suit, somebody not wearing a helmet, vest, gloves, boots, harnesses, shields, aprons, any type of PPE that you want a person to wear. It identifies that in real time using a computer vision AI solution. Now, once this is being monitored, imagine if companies start taking action on these, it will reduce your number of safety behaviors on the ground. And if it reduces the number of safety behaviors on the ground, it will reduce the probability of having that one particular safety incident. Does that make sense? All right. Now, I will show you some more safety solutions. For example, this is on the gloves. When people are working in some of the critical environment, are they working bare hand? Like this person is working bare hand. You can see AI is detecting that somebody is working bare hand or not, or somebody is wearing the glove. And it can immediately be highlighted somebody. For example, AI can look at some of the unsafe behavior, like somebody is not wearing the harness when the person is working at the height, which again can lead to fatality. Today, algorithms are there which can detect even fire using a normal CCTV camera. You can train this AI to identify fire. It can immediately raise an alarm in case there is a fire incident somewhere. It can look at scenarios like somebody carrying a visible weapons like guns, rifles, pistols. Like we work with a lot of banks where we identify weapons if somebody is carrying a weapon within the premises, right? It can look at, for example, any safety zone violation. Somebody is trying to breach the safety zone. Somebody trying to enter into an area which is a no entry zone, for example. It can look at all that and immediately raise an alarm in case there is a safety violation. For example, if people are outside of this green pathway, they are in danger zone, and that's where it generates an alert and immediately triggers an alert for somebody. It can look at the safety of your forklifts. Like there are forklifts that move within the premise, especially manufacturing warehouses. You would see forklifts that are moving all the time. So it can look at if forklifts are overspeeding, forklifts are coming in close contact to a person, any person overspeeding the forklift, right? All these things can be identified. Like if I take this video a little ahead, you can see these are two forklifts, and it's actually a blind spot, right? There could be a possible collision unless somebody immediately stops, right? So that's where the system is very handy. It can look at it can look in real time if people are following the safety protocols or not, right? So that's another safety behavior that it monitors. It looks at, pose estimation. It looks at the pose of a person and identify. I think I'm dropped again. Okay, I think my network went off again. Sorry, guys. Uh, I'm actually not in my home city, and network here is little patchy. So I'm so sorry, for this. But I hope I'm audible again. Can somebody just confirm if my screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, it is visible.
Okay, thank you. All right. So I was actually explaining you that even today the AI algorithms have matured to the level that they can look at the pose of a person. Now you can see AI has automatically mapped the body joints of this person, right? And it can see the movement of body joints and see how this person is behaving. Like for example, this person is bending down from the knee or not? Like when we talk to many manufacturing companies, they have this compliance that people should lift the weight properly, otherwise it creates a lot of health issues later on. So it can even look at some of the bending down or not, right? Many a times this technology is now being utilized actively in certain sports. Like for example, uh, the likelihood of a player falling down is can be estimated using this pose, like in football, right? By looking at the pose, it identifies there is a likelihood of a person falling down. It also looks at how many times the ball was there with a particular team, or it looks at the certain, through certain positions, etc. It looks at how the person is behaving, right? So the technology today through pose estimation is looking at a lot of, different scenarios within the sports as well, right? Uh, it also can be used to identify, for example, certain specific scenarios, like if there is an overcrowding, there is a visible spillage on the floor, which could be a safety hazard. Many a times it identifies a visible spillage and informs somebody who can then look at the spillage and come to the rescue. For example, this is again a live video from one of our client where it kind of looked at if there is a oil spillage somewhere, right? So safety is another big vertical which I want to touch upon because uh, many industries today on the manufacturing side are actually deploying some of these AI solution to handle the safety. And now, you would appreciate after looking at the videos, right? That hello, am I audible again? So if my video went off, I think it's live again. So I was saying that at least after looking at the videos, you would appreciate that how companies are actually using this to enhance the safety within the organization. And there are many, many large organizations, even in India, right, who are using these solutions to strengthen their safety vertical, right? And there is a lot of value that gets generated every day using these solutions. Okay. Now, another last vertical that I would like to touch upon is primarily the healthcare. Now, there are many hospitals and health care clinics or care centers which are using these solutions. And we have done quite a good number of deployments. So I will, I will talk about how these solutions are being utilized. So within hospitals, it looks at, for example, any intrusion detection. For example, somebody who is not authorized is trying to access the premises. Now, it can be done through facial recognition. It can be done through biometric. It can be done through, uniform detection. If the person without a uniform is trying to enter into an area, it looks at sorry, I'm just trying to see if I'm dropped off or not. I think it's okay. Okay. Now it looks at, for example, the journey of a patient, like for how much time the patient was sitting in a specific area, what is the wait time of the patient. It looks at fire detection. It looks at fall detection. If there is a patient who falls down on the floor, it immediately kind of, generate alerts around the same. There is a lot of productivity and process optimization that is being done. For example, the wait time of the patient, the queue management, it looks at the availability of doctors and nurses because we train it on the uniform. So it can identify if that's a particular person is a patient or a doctor or a nurse, and it can then track that particular person, within the premises. You can see the productivity of OPD by looking at the time spent by patients with OPDs, for example, right? And then, of course, there is an entire health and safety vertical where it looks at face masks, gloves, PPEs. It looks at pose estimation. It looks at fire and smoke, any hazardous discussion. And always the data gets presented nicely on charts and graphs, which you can easily access and, look at all that data in a real-time scenario, right? So these are the three main verticals that I want to touch upon today. Now, I would just like to summarize. I will take 2-3 minutes and summarize, and then we'll open up for questions here, right? Uh, so broadly, if you look at the tech, right, what it offers, it's a very strong tech which offers you to convert your dumb CCTV cameras today into smart AI solution. And for good or bad, every premise today, whether it's an indoor and outdoor, there is a coverage of camera which you can't avoid, right? And when I talk to companies across the globe, I realized that vast majority of those organizations have not utilized their CCTVs beyond surveillance. Still today, when you deploy a CCTV camera within your premise, the first purpose that you have within your mind is to just to secure the premise, and which is fine. I mean, that's where the CCTV evolved as a tool or as a mechanism to help you monitor the premises. But what has happened over a period of time, it stopped delivering any value beyond that, right? Now, with the advent of systems like AI on computer vision AI, it is helping companies to convert those CCTV cameras from a dumb surveillance cameras to a smart AI solution. It doesn't take much because the AI can be plugged on the existing camera feed. Once you do that, the solution start delivering you value in your business. Now, I, I'm sure by looking at some of the videos that I showed you, some of the slides that I showed you would at least appreciate how the CCTVs can be converted into a tool which can help you make business decisions also. And trust me, this was not possible like even 5-6 years back. This complete area was very new to everybody, right? And people never imagined that CCTVs can evolve to the level or technology can evolve to the level that you can start deriving business benefits from CCTV cameras. But today, as we speak, we have the right kind of technology, hardware, processing capability, software around the AI, which can do that stuff for you. And thankfully, computer vision is one area where there are direct use cases which are beneficial for the industry. I'm sure all of you would have appreciated when I showed you those slides and videos. There's a direct benefit that companies are driving. Unlike a lot of other AI solutions, where companies are still struggling to see how it can add value to the organization. And that's where there is a lot of long sales cycles, understanding the benefits, etc. While in computer vision, it's easier to immediately connect and see what benefits it is bringing on the table to you. So it's a very powerful technology. And our organization has done more than 30,000 cameras deployment as we speak today. We are one of the largest and fastest growing organization globally in this. So it is adding a lot of value to organizations that we work with. And that is where at least I want to touch upon today that AI is not something which people feel is futuristic. AI is not something that people feel it's a bubble and it will burst. AI is not something where you are still struggling to find out the right use cases. In fact, there are certain AI areas which are actually being deployed, and there are companies who are deriving a lot of benefits out of it. So at least now you can see the spectrum, right? If somebody tomorrow tells you that AI is just a bubble, at least you can bring in certain relevant use cases and tell them, no, I know that AI is actually adding value to a lot of organization, and there are companies who have implemented and deriving benefits out of that. So that is broadly I want to touch upon. I'm happy to take up any questions that you may have, and if you want to deep dive into specifics of the technology, some of the deployments we have done, if you want to deep dive into my organization or my journey, whatever, I'm happy to talk about that. Yeah. You can either ask questions on the, I mean, you can ask me directly as well, or if you want, you can write it on the chat. I'm happy to answer both ways, right? Thank you. Thank you, Shiva. How can AI and computer vision technology be leveraged to identify early warning signs of distress or suicidal tendencies among colleague students? And what interventions can be implemented to ensure timely support? Okay, that's an interesting one, Nirav. So, uh, see, AI also looks at the behavior. So there is something called a behavioral analysis, right, within the AI. And especially, if I talk about computer vision, behavioral analysis can actually look at how that particular person is behaving. And when I say behavior, it can actually look at the expressions. It can look at if somebody is tensed, for example, right? Or if somebody is happy. What percentage of time are you happy? Are you tensed? Are you contempt? Are you angry? Are you dissatisfied? So there are certain emotion analysis that AI can do today. The problem is, see, there are two problems. One is it is really subjective. It's not very accurate as we speak today because it can give you roughly how that person is feeling, but it's very difficult to deep dive and say whether that person is going through a depression or something like that, right? Uh, Again, how do you monitor that data? It's very, very difficult to put a camera everywhere so that it can start monitoring the behavior of each and every person. So those are some of the challenges with the technology implementation. But there are another tools which are available. Apart from computer vision, there are other AI tools today, which through certain analysis can actually give you very, very. Okay, I think I dropped off, so I will just
Sir,
repeat
your
that.
screen is
There
not
are.
visible.
No, I'm not sharing the screen. I'm answering the question of
Your
Nirav.
screen is not visible.
Okay, I'm not sharing any screen. I'm
Okay,
answering the
sir.
question of Nirav. I was saying that maybe computer vision is not a good technology, Nirav, to identify these early signs because there are certain AI solutions which can be utilized to, give you some early signs and early warnings around that. But computer vision has a limitation in terms of having those cameras properly placed, right? And which is the major challenge in doing the facial behavioral analysis. I hope that answers your question, Nirav. Okay, more questions, please. AI and brain signal analysis, yes, Prem. There is a lot that is happening there, and a few of my very good friends are actually working in this area. And I mean, I can only tell you, Prem, that within next 2 to 3 years, you will see mind-boggling, solutions or technology. Shit. Okay, I think my network went off again. So sorry about it. I will repeat. So, Prem, I was saying that there is a lot happening in this vertical in brain signal analysis. Couple of my very good friends are actually working at Google, and you know the kind of research they are doing, Prem, it's amazing. Within next few years, you would see so many technologies coming which can literally decode what is happening in your brain, right? And bring that on the table. Like, for example, there is an interesting solution or technology that scientists are working on where through their brain they can control the drone movement, right? Or they can control few things only by through their brains. Now imagine if that really comes into the practicality, what what it would bring in terms of overall technology development, healthcare, whatever, right? In different scenarios. So there is a lot happening, Prem, over there. I'm not presenting any slide, Navneesh. I'm just answering the questions. Yeah, so I'm not presenting anything, guys. I'm answering the questions. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those. Yeah. So Prem, just to let you know, in case you are really interested in this, just see what Google is doing, right? And some of the Harvard studies are also kind of focused on this. You will find a lot of interesting stuff around this brain signal. Okay, more questions, guys. Okay, so Suyash, over to you. In case there are no further questions, right? I didn't want to make this session very complex because one thing I've seen is when we talk about AI, people try to make it really complex. I just wanted to simplify this and tell audience that there is a lot that is happening already on the ground, right, in terms of AI deployment and how you can start appreciating even small value add that AI can do to your day-to-day activities, right? So Suyash, over to you in case there are no further questions.
Thank you, sir, for your session. If anyone has any question, please put it in your chat box.
Welcome, Vijayalakshmi. Okay, so if there are no further questions, then I would like to thank everybody for listening to me. I hope you were able to at least get some meaningful information out of the session. I'm happy to touch base in case you want to have a session one-to-one. I'll drop my email ID here in case you have any further interaction that you want to make. I'm happy to do that. Uh, I'm just putting it in the chat box, and you can reach out to me in case you want to interact further.
Okay, sir, thank you to you all. And my heartful thanks to Mr. Nitin sir for joining us today and sharing his knowledge, expertise, and time. Thank you once again, sir, for making this session a remarkable learning experience.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Yes. अरे मधुलिका मैम पासवर्ड बताओ
Your next session will be from 5 of p.m. You can log in again. I'm sharing the feedback link of this session. Everyone, please join at 5 p.m. for our next session.